Alright, got a bronze support player, starting off with Baptiste.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Back that up a real second.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Winston's in a bad spot already. Alright, that was good. Back around corner to avoid the sticky bombs. You shouldn't have dropped down on high ground there. Yep, you're getting back up, that's good. No, okay. So, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to rejoin the bulk of your team. Most of your team are defending down here. However, given your team comp, Baptiste, Torbjorn, and Soldier all make fantastic use of high ground. They all really like high ground. So you want to stay on high ground as much as possible. You want to find high ground as much as possible, and on Dorado especially. It is a map where high ground control basically wins fights. That's why dive is such a powerful composition on Dorado, because mobility, controlling the high ground is huge on this map. So you definitely want to be staying up here as much as possible. Your soldier has the right idea. He wants to stay up here as long as he can, try and pump damage into the enemy team. And looking at the enemy team, the only heroes they have that are really any kind of a threat to you are Echo and Diva, because those are the only two that can really put any kind of pressure on you on the high ground. But again, there's only two of them, and unless they both dive you at the same time, like, you're not going to feel any kind of pressure. Echo's pretty squishy, and so if you're, with Torb turret or Soldier can even hit 1 or 2 shots on her, you can pressure her to avoid taking a key fight, and then Diva can dive you guys, I guess, if she really wants to. But she's just going to get melted if you guys all focus her, so there's no one on their team that can really pressure you. So you want to stay on high ground as long as you can. Now, definitely, as the payload moves, you definitely want to rotate around and defend over here, because eventually this high ground just gets too exposed when the card gets too far forward. The caveat is too that you can also flank this way and push behind the payload kind of thing, but in any case, you drop off high ground, you booster jump back up here, and then you immediately drop back down this window, which is a bad move. Why you went through this window, I don't know, because when you drop down this window, you are now looking at 5 people on the enemy team. So yeah. If the enemy team was half paying attention, Sigma already used his rock, but he could still focus you down in 2 or 3 bursts. Their Ana is poking around the corner. Echo just needs to peek a little bit. Like, they can burn you down pretty quickly. You're squishy, right? So they can either burn you down and just delete you, or force you to waste immortality or something like that, because you jumped down and are out in the wide open, staring down the enemy team. Dropping down is fine, but you want to do so safely. Right, so come through this window, drop down into your team's backline where you're safe, out of immediate line of fire, or if you're up here where Soldier is, you can run downstairs. You have to play safer. That is, people talk about positioning all the time and playing safely. Part of positioning is what's known as pathing. Pathing is basically how you get from point A to point B. So when you're up here, you basically have 2 paths to get back down to your team. Option A is the safer option, jump in behind your team. Option B path is what you did, which is the dangerous play, and in higher ranks would get you killed. Little thing like that, but it's little things like that that are going to help you climb, where you just keep yourself out of unnecessary dangerous situations. Alright, so let's talk about this for a sec. So, Diva jumps down, trying to heal Soldier, but you can see he's at full health. Now, for whatever reason, their diva just decided to stop focusing down soldier. So let's just back up seconds here. See how this breaks down. You jump up, you heal your soldier, get forced back down. That was a a good use of your shift. Soldier was getting low. That's a good amount of burst healing. You hit a couple of people with it, so you got some pretty decent value out of that. I'm okay with that. That's an okay use of it. So you jump back down, doing some healing, doing some damage, and Diva dives you guys. Alright, and their Diva, whatever reason, their Diva just doesn't know who to focus. Their Diva should have either focused you or Soldier, because her defense matrix can eat through their damage, and Moira is very tough to kill. She has self-heal, she doesn't require aim, and she does not care about Diva's defense matrix. So Diva has 3 targets here, 2 of which are good targets, 1 of which is a bad target, and their Diva has chosen the bad target, which is your Moira. I guess for you, it is the good target, because, she's not going to be able to kill Moira by herself. And what you're doing here is you're trying to get a line on your soldier. So one thing I'm not seeing is I don't know if you have allied health bars turned on, but if you don't, definitely do that. It's a necessary thing as support. In the replay, you can see that he is at full health. I don't know if you have allied health bars turned on. That is an option if you go into your player options. Always have your allied health bars turned on. Like I said, especially as support, it is a necessary thing. But you can see your soldiers at full health. You can see Diva is forcing or at least pressuring your Moira. Right now, you're not in any danger. You're safe from the Diva. There's no one else that can challenge you, but you are going for a booster jump, which is okay. But from your position, you can see that your Torb is on fire, so he is in the most immediate danger. So basically, you have 2 options here. You booster jump and you work with your soldier, your Moira, and try to burn down that Diva, or you let them kind of take care of Diva and you focus on healing your Torb. Right, so Torb also should be going to get a health pack. So you jump through, you guys burn down, you guys burn down the Diva, and then you turn and you start shooting back down the lane. Just fine. So again, you can also see that that Winston is getting really low. Let's see. So yeah, you can flick over and heal. Yeah, right there, you can see, okay, you do have allied health burst turned on. So off to the right, you can see your Torbjorn was low on health and on fire, and you can see that your Winston was on fire. Here, these guys are at full health. Diva's out of mech. You've got Zarya with you. These guys are safe, right? At this point, it's one of those very, very quick decisions that you have to make in game, and I understand it's kind of hard, especially when you get a Diva flying in your face to look at everything. But when you see that little marker on your screen indicating low health, at least turn to look at it, acknowledge it. Is it someone you can heal? And in this case, definitely yes. There is no one here that is in danger of dying. So you could have turned there and potentially saved your Winston. Potentially. Again, it is one of those things that happens really quickly in game. And here, you do try to save him, but your shots hit Zarya right in front. And you could have just shot him a little bit earlier and potentially saved him, but it's an unlucky situation. Winston dove in by himself. He was in bad position. Positionally wise, I'm not seeing. So that was a good. Was it good? It was okay. You hit almost everybody on your team. Yeah, I'm good. I'm okay with that. You hit almost everybody on your team, and you got some decent value out of it as you re-engaged. Kind of jumped into squishy bombs there. You have ult now. Let's see what you do with it. So right there, you were going in to try and heal your Winston, which is good. But by going on the other side of their shield, you were putting yourself in danger. Um, so what I would have done there instead is kind of hang out by Torbjorn here, hang out near cart, go back up to high ground, whatever. But work with your team to shoot down that barrier. That's a Sig shield. It only has 900 health. So between you, Torbjorn, Soldier, Zarya, you can melt through that shield pretty quickly. And then you'd be able to spam healing onto your Winston. Um, Again, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to save your Winston, which is good, because he got slept. But you walked onto the other side of a shield, so you prevented any healing from getting to you from your Moira, and you were basically in direct line of sight of their spawn. So that was just a very, very bad spot for you to be in. As a support, you never want to put yourself in a dangerous situation to save one teammate like that. Don't kill yourself to save a teammate, because chances are you're both just going to die. Um, Again, the enemy team was dead and respawning, so the chances of you dying there were actually slim to none. But, at higher ranks, if they're running a Widow or a Hanzo or even a McCree or an Ashe or somebody with kind of a decent range damage, you're just going to die. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, that's just, that was a suboptimal position to be in. Didn't die, which is good. That's one of those things that you shouldn't be doing. Winston is just feeding in damage. Or by feeding in, I mean they were putting a lot of damage into him and he's just not dying. He just cannot secure a kill. Okay, I like this. So this is good. You are paying attention to your other healer, making sure your other healer's not dying. That's good. It's unlucky that your soldier died, but you probably could have turned around to heal him, but you were trying to heal. Okay, that's good. You didn't waste immortality there. You tried there. You have to remember that Diva Bomb is burst damage, so even in immortality, you can still die, right? As your other team said, or as shown there, like other members of your team died from it. So when you're dropping immortality to cancel a bomb, you better make sure hit all of your team. Again, it was a nice try. You didn't waste immortality on the Sig ult, and you had it saved for Diva Bomb, so it was the right idea. It was a good play. It was an okay use of it. You just didn't place it optimally. That's all. One interesting thing about Immortality Field, I don't know if you know this, but it's a projectile that has the exact same arc as your healing nades. So if you're not too sure where it's going to land, you can fire off a couple of shots with your healing nades, and where your healing nade lands, that's exactly where your immortality field is going to land. So, if you're trying to arc it to your Winston there, say, you can just toss in a couple heal nades until, and adjusting your angle of fire until you find a distance that you want it to get to, and then you can toss it out without moving your crosshairs, and it will follow the exact same arc as your healing nades. So you can use your rifle essentially as a guide for your immortality field projectile. So Soldier already used his ult. Your window pairs very well with Soldier ult, but again, in this case, another good use for a window would just be to help Soldier build his ult again. Being damaged from behind, get out of here. So, yeah. So right here, you're not in great position. So your team is kind of spawn stuffing him, which is okay. You guys are winning this fight, but the cart has to move this way. The enemy team is all over here. and you are standing here. You are in a bad spot, right? If this team, right, if the enemy team pushes in through the choke, if their tanks push W, all of a sudden they split you guys in half, right? And they've got healers on one side and tanks on the other. If I was the enemy team and I had the choice between killing tanks or killing supports, I would definitely go with the supports, right? And sure, you know what? They might lose that fight by turning to deal with you guys. They'll get shot in the back by your tanks, but their spawn point is so much closer. They win that fight, right? So you, Soldier, Moira should not be, right? Soldier can be up here on this high ground. It's not much of a high ground, but it's enough that it'll give him a little bit of an advantage. You should be over there as well. You could be back here around this corner, um, over here around this corner, kind of thing. Should be on this side, on your team's side, on your team's controlled space. Um, Same thing with your Moira. Like your Moira is here trying to damage, trying to save your Winston. Your Winston is feeding. Your Winston has been feeding all game. Like he jumps in and he just tanks all this damage. You guys, you and Moira are keeping him alive. But yeah, your Winston is feeding pretty hard. He has been doing so all game. And I worry that the fact that he has been not dying means that he thinks he's doing well, but really he's not. He's just feeding. Anyway, I guess he is putting pressure on the team, and they're using a lot of resources to try and kill him, but he is dying a lot. Yes, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. But this is, in general, for you, as Baptiste, you are in poor position. You want to be behind your team, above your team. You want to be on high ground, right? You could be up here, even. Raining healing down on your team. Wouldn't have much of a line of sight to shoot and do damage, but this would be the safest place for you to be right now. Definitely not over here.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Zarya. Surrender to my will.
You got Immortality Field down before he died. That's good, but didn't really save anyone. Again, I still think the primary reason you died there was just because you were in bad position. Again, Sigma ult could have killed you anyway, but if you had been standing over here, you wouldn't have been grouped up and have to run back with your team. It's been in a better position. I do like how you're paying attention to your other healer, though. That's not something I see a whole lot in Roblox. This was another poor position death. So you were playing very far up with your team. Again, as Baptiste, you have ranged healing, and you benefit from high ground. So they have no one on high ground. Diva can pressure you, Echo can pressure you, but really, if you're, up here with your team, you're in a good spot. They don't really. I guess their Diva or their Echo can pressure you, but if you're back up here, you can still pump down healing. You can still pump in damage. If someone pressures you, you can drop down to your team pretty easily. You've got access to a health pack right here. This is just your safer position, right? That's the one thing I'm noticing consistently is that you are playing very aggressively with your team. You are playing kind of right up in the fray, almost like a brawl healer, which is fine if you're like Brig or Moira because you have ways of keeping alive. But as somebody like Baptiste, where your only way of staying alive really is Immortality Field, and it is a very long cooldown. Don't want to be in the brunt of the fight. You kind of want to be back a little bit, away from danger. You want to find some cover and just spam down healing, spam down damage. So that death could have been avoided if you were in a better spot. On the plus side, it was a good use of Immortality Field to save a couple of your teammates there. Still haven't used Window yet. You are holding onto it too long. I understand you're trying to go for these big plays. You know, it's, 4 or 5 man kills, using it to try and get these sick plays. It doesn't need to be that, right? Window builds up pretty quickly, and you know is honestly, as far as support ults go, is not that great, or at least I'm not a huge fan of it. There are better ults. Don't be afraid to use it. Like Moira already, that's her second ult. She's used both her ults. I guess Coalescence is a lot easier to use than Window, but... And you haven't really been in a good spot to use Window either, but again, that's because you're kind of... You're playing in the brawl instead of on high ground. Whereas, you know, if you're... Oh, C9'd! I heard the echo behind you guys. I didn't even, was not paying attention either. That's... Oh, that's funny. But you should have had at least 2 windows now. But your soldier has ult now, so at the very least, right here, you should be comboing with your soldier. Okay, that was absolutely not needed. Window, help your soldier, help your soldier. Okay. So you're holding on to window way too long. Even if they pop grav, you can just pop window in front of yourself, right? And then you, Torbjorn soldier, can all sit behind it and like pump damage into grav at double the damage. It doesn't even have to be comboed for some big, huge poggers play. But yeah, definitely by now you should have had at least 2 ults and used them. Okay, that lamp was not needed. You know, you guys were behind a corner, you were safe from Diva Bomb. Your Torbjorn, you could have used it on Torb, but you should have just hid behind a pillar or something. As a team, you guys need to back up. You're playing right in front of their spawn. Monkey just died, your Diva, or your Zarya just died. And now you use Window. This is a bad use of Window. This fight is lost. You're down both tanks, you're down DPS. Yeah. So you held on to Window way too long there. Like I said, you could have used it a lot earlier. It does not have to be used for these big plays. It does, you know, you can combo it with Soldier for great effect, but it doesn't have to be. So now, like if you had held on to it, you could use it here, because this is good position. Stay on high ground. Harder to hit on high ground. Moira has had 3 ults this game, you've had 1. It's little things like that that are going to help you climb. Just don't be afraid to press Q. Okay. That last immortality field wasn't a terrible use of it. You know, you were in overtime. Almost your entire team was antied, so you know you kind of just prevented any further damage from coming in. Probably held on long enough for the anti-nade to wear off and allow you to heal up your team. But takeaways from that first round. High ground. Right, Baptiste plays a lot like Soldier, McCree, Ashe, where he benefits greatly from high ground. And especially on a map like Dorado, and especially Baptiste, because he has vertical movement coming out the ass, right? He can jump almost anywhere on the map. Utilize high ground more. In addition to that, don't be afraid to press Q. You know, you used your ult once, and it was essentially a waste. You got absolutely 0 value out of it. You used it when the fight was lost. You know, you were down both tanks. it was really only you and Soldier behind there that could make use of it, which honestly isn't terrible, but again, it was in a bad spot. You just got no value out of it. Don't be afraid to press Q. Make use of high ground and play farther back out of the fight. You're playing far too brawly. What's that Reaper? Just saying how. Oh, that Reaper. Nice.
Get into position.
Fire Orb was bad. Okay, don't chase this. Don't chase this. You know, he's going for an ult. If he's running away from you, don't bother chasing it. Stay with your team. He'll come back for heals or find himself a health back. So you can jump onto high ground here. So they're, you know, a lot of them were fighting up on high ground, which is where they should be. But as you guys pressured them down, you can jump up here, right? And you can shoot into them. You can use this corner, kind of crouch and hide from them, pump heals down. You know, you can jump up over here. Jumping up over here is a lot riskier because, again, you know, you've got a hallway right to them. They can attack you, but definitely get up on high ground somewhere and start raining hell down on them. Rain heals down on your team. Again, you're playing very close to your team. You're playing like a brawl healer, not a ranged healer. I'm not sure what good that Torb Turret was doing. 12. Okay, I like this. You know, they have a Bastion, you're kind of using the cart as cover. Okay, you know, that was a good lamp. You know, you saved your team from the whatchamacallit, Sigult there. So now, one thing you could have done there is if you are confident enough with your aim, you could have backed up a little bit, popped window, and then just one-clipped the tire. Through window, a one-round burst, like I think you only need to hit 2 shots, 2 of the 3 will destroy tire or something like that, or maybe you have to hit all 3, I'm not sure. But point is, you will just delete tire if you're comfortable enough with your aim. It is a bit of a risky play, but if you are confident with your aim, that's something you can do. And then all of a sudden, you guys are back here, you have window. A smart team is not really going to want to poke too much into that. But again, you know, you're also down your main tank. You know, it's only your Torb with you, so I guess your Roadhog's over here. But so it's probably good you didn't use it, but that is definitely something you can do. Is you can use window, you can burn down tire, and this wasn't an optimal position, but you know, at least you'd be able to put out a lot of damage through window. Might have been able to kind of pressure the team and force them away. Yeah. Good thing you didn't use it there, honestly, but there's something you can do with window. See if you use window soon. You should use it this fight. Shit's above you. Questionable use of Immortality Field. Hey, you're getting high ground. Nice. Okay, so Torb kind of saved your ass there. One thing with Immortality Field is, as often as you can, you want to make sure that the actual lamp is around a corner somewhere, out of line of sight of the enemy. When you pop it right out in the open like that, it's very easy for them to just shoot it down, right? It doesn't have a lot of health, and the Orisa on her own can burn it down pretty quickly, and then you just get no value out of it. August feeding. Just Bastion off to the left, and he just decided to walk out ult. Okay. That was not a terrible use of lamp. You know, you save your team through Moira ult and through Bastion damage. It was a good kill on the Bastion, but it sucks they got the Mercy res off. Still haven't used Window. Hawk should just die. He's feeding at this point. So one thing you can do against Bastion is, you know, when their Bastion was set up in a dumb spot, like he was right on payload. I don't know what that Bastion was expecting to happen. That Bastion sets up top here, kind of like right over here. There's nothing you guys can really do to get to him. Even if he sets up a little more aggressively and pups up here, like he's hard to get to. Why he was set up right on cart, I don't. But better spots for that Bastion to be set up in, and it would be a lot more difficult for guys to get to him. But one thing you can do with Lamp that's actually an okay use of Lamp is if you put Lamp so it's like hiding around the corner here, you can kind of just peek out around this corner while still inside Lamp and just shoot Bastion, right? And he can shoot you all he wants, but you have whatever 6 seconds it is, I think, for less than that, 4 seconds, whatever it is, of just shooting him where he cannot kill you. And then you can just burn him down. You and Zarya can just... But you managed to do that without wasting your lamp. So that's good. Yet still haven't used Window. It's a trap right. So, good try on the Ursa. Ursa tried to pull you out of there, but did you retire? So you used Window there, but then you did not... You shot like 2 things through it. You know, you looked to the right and just didn't use Window at all. So again, you got no value out of your ult. You needed to use it, you know, and that wasn't a terrible time to use it, but you got no value out of it. As Bap, you know, when you have a soldier on your team, just let him know, like, hey, you know, soldier Torb, I've got Window, you know, kind of group up with me here, and then you pop Window, and the 3 of you guys shoot through it, and everything just gets deleted. Torb. I will say, for Bronze, you have pretty good awareness of the rest of your team. You know, it looks like you do have Halid health person, which is good. And it does seem like you are paying attention to the health of your team. Or just not always in a very good position. So it seems to me that's where most of your deaths stem from, is that you're not on high ground, you're playing too close to the main fight.
Heroes never die.
You start playing a little safer, start playing a little farther back, you'll start to... Nice, nice! Huge! I want to go back and watch this again. Healing your team, yada yada yada. Standard stuff. Drop Lamp, burn down Bastion. Look at this. He can't kill you, he can't do shit. Pop Window, look, all their team is right there for the picking. Soldier pops Visor, Graph pulls him above shield. It's great, that's fantastic. Everything about that, really good. It's just unfortunate that there weren't more kills out of it. You know, I think Graph probably could have waited until you guys burned through shield, but you know, they're running double shield Bastion, so it's kind of tricky.
That could have gone better.
10 seconds remaining.
Western gonna do it for us. Attack!
All right, and that looks like game. Okay, so biggest takeaways. Some things you're doing really well is you have pretty good awareness in that you are paying attention to your team, the health of your team, and you are generally fairly aware of the location and health of the rest of your team. So your healing targets for the most part are pretty good. I was impressed. You're paying attention to your other healer, which is huge. Never stop doing that. A lot of people forget to pay attention to their other healer. Um, the biggest issue I saw is that you are playing BAP way too close to the main fight. You're playing him like a brawl healer when in fact you should be taking a step or two back from the fight, um, and find some high ground. Baptiste makes such good use of high ground. It keeps him safer. It makes his left clicks easier to hit. It makes your right clicks easier to hit because you have better angles to hit things with. Keep in mind that his right clicks, his heals are area of effect, right? So you don't have to hit exactly on your target. If, you have somebody behind a shield and you're on high ground, you could conceivably shoot over the shield, hit a wall behind it, hit the ground just behind it kind of thing, and still heal whoever is on the other side of that shield. But again, you have to be on high ground to get that angle. Um, that is your biggest thing. I think if you focus on that, you're going to start to climb. Just play safer and don't die as often. Um, your ability usage was pretty decent. You were using your heal pulse pretty smartly. When you needed that immediate burst healing and you could hit a couple of people, or when you were low on health and you needed that little bit of healing, which is fine. Immortality use wasn't actually terrible. Um, there were some suboptimal uses of it, or basically placement, I would say. Um, you know, Most of the time you want to try and put it so the lamp can't be shot easily by your enemy team. So around a corner, behind a wall, something like that. When it's out in the open, it's just too easy for them to shoot it and burn through it. But basically, the timing on when to use it was pretty good for the most part. And the last thing is your alt usage was not great. You only used window once on defense, and it got absolutely zero value. You had two windows on attack. First one was meh. Second one was a good use of it. It's just your team kind of got outplayed by the shields as well. Um, so don't be afraid to press Q. All right. Window is a good alt, but it's not like a game breaker. Again, you can do a lot with it, but don't be afraid to press Q. Right? Don't hold on to your alt for too long. The general rule of thumb is that every two team fights, you should have built up an ultimate. Um, so that means at least every two team fights, you should be using your ultimate. When you only have 4 or 5 minute rounds, building two, maybe three ultimates, especially as support because you can build them so quickly, um, that's huge. Yeah, those. Other than that, it wasn't bad. Um, yeah, just as I said, biggest thing to focus on: take a step back from the team fight. Don't play as a brawl character as Baptiste, and find yourself some high ground. Good luck on your climb.